In the 2000s and 2010s, stealth games were unescapable. But in 2012, everything changed with the release of Dishonored. Traditionally, stealth games relied on you staying in the shadows, avoiding enemy line of sight, and taking out enemies secretly. Whereas in Dishonored, you can just do whatever. Stealth is an option, not a requirement. The players are free to play how they want to play, rather than a set way to play, providing for an experience for all types of players. You can be the cool assassin taking out guys from the shadows, or you can be an insane lunatic swinging your sword at everything that moves. Like me. Although stealth is what the game was mainly designed around, you have the freedom to be super aggressive and kill waves upon waves of soldiers. With the wide variety of routes and paths you can take, each playthrough of this game feels distinct, allowing it to be more replayable than other titles from this genre. For previous fans of stealth games who love doing a ghost playthrough in which you cannot be spotted by any enemy at all, Dishonored has specific routes in mind for these players, whether it's a tiny vent to slip into or these platforms along the insides of buildings allowing you to remain undetected. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you have these extensive, open areas swarming with enemies to kill. I should note that these paths are also littered with consumables or items to help you upgrade your kit, rewarding players for going off the main path. Or you can get your 80th logbook. Despite that, this philosophy of level design is a testament to the game's vision for player freedom, and it's overall just fun to explore and goof around in. Undoubtedly though, the core of Dishonored's gameplay is placed on Corvo's supernatural abilities. Utilizing these abilities allows you to teleport from one place to another, giving you the ability to sneak up on enemies. Or you can summon a huge swarm of rats that eats people alive. Or I like to call it, haha funny rat storm. You can bend time if you find yourself in a dire situation, and just like that, you're out. Some abilities that initially seem weaker can be upgraded using runes to make them more useful. Like blinks now go 2 times the distance, and bending time now completely stops time, and much more. I loved using the teleport to just flow across these missions with ease, or teleporting right above an enemy and doing a drop assassination. These mechanics add a unique feel to Dishonored, making it different from other stealth games. And the versatility of these abilities allow Dishonored's missions to be beaten in multiple ways, leaving room for creativity and experimentation. In addition to the versatility, Dishonored's mechanics have a high skill ceiling for people who like streamlining their performance, whether it's for speedrunning or just for fun. Although Dishonored is a masterclass in gameplay, it's not a one-trick pony and completely immerses you in its world and universe. I remember games like BioShock not only because of the gameplay, but I remember being completely immersed in that world with its atmosphere emanating this unique sense of beauty and uneasiness. Rapture is just one of the coolest places in gaming. Without a doubt though, Dishonored in the same way left me enamored by its world. Set in this plague-ridden steampunk era country reminiscent of 19th century Britain, it fascinated me with its beautiful environments, an art style similar to something out of a Van Gogh painting, and melancholic music. Walking through the streets with the enchanting soundtrack by Daniel Litch playing in the background, seeing all the broken buildings or people zombified by this catastrophic plague, it makes you feel how broken this country is. Well, I guess modern Britain's not that much different. All of these elements combine to build such an enchanting world. I was instantly immersed when I first arrived at the Golden Cat. The main lobby is so entrancing, and the walls are decorated in this gorgeous design with paintings lining all of the walls. Well, I didn't do it. Sorry about that. However, my favorite location, and honestly my favorite mission in Dishonored, is the Boyle Estate. This place is posh and extravagant, reminiscent of Edgar Allan Poe's Mask of the Red Death or The Great Gatsby. Even a weird creepy guy trying to steal a girl and all. It lures you in with this lavish, stunning architecture and over-the-top furniture. It's genuinely such a beautiful portion of this game and highlights the lifestyle differences between the common people and the rich. Normally this stuff is not a big deal to me at all, I could honestly care less most of the time. But when the effort is put into making a world feel as engrossing as this, I have to acknowledge it. Nevertheless, a game like Dishonored cannot be complete without a compelling narrative. and it delivers such a great story. Dishonored follows our silent protagonist Corvo, the royal protector of the Empress Jessamine Caldwin, who is assassinated in an attempt to overthrow the government by a man named Dowd. In the process, the Empress and Corvo's daughter Emily is kidnapped and transported to an unknown location, and Corvo is imprisoned for killing the Empress. Thanks to some inside help from the government and military, Corvo escapes prison and joins a loyalist group wanting to establish Emily as the head of the country. He talks with a strange man called the Outsider and receives a weird mark on his hand, along with some cool new abilities that I mentioned earlier. He goes on to complete requests from the group leaders, Lord Pendleton and Havelock, who look like Agent Smith and Kingpin from Spider-Verse respectively. And together they neutralize everyone who stands in their way, all the while Corvo is trying to find the person who assassinated the Empress. It's a classic revenge tale, yet something appears off around the middle of the game. Those who helped you begin acting strange, and lo and behold, you get poisoned and thrown in the trash. I love how this feels like a callback to the beginning of the game when you get thrown in prison and all, but now you're at the bottom of the bottom. Following the betrayal, it highlights the power struggle going on in this devastated nation. The characters in this game, while not necessarily deep, have their deeper motivations as to why they do things, which are mostly in their logbooks, but is explained in the story also. Whereas Corvo is a righteous, upstanding man of honor, risking his life to help his daughter by doing all these dangerous missions. Someone like Havelock is a scheming, conniving man desperate for more power and will stop at nothing to obtain it. He completely betrayed you and showed what he desired the entire time: power. Dishonored contrasts different elements present in our human natures, highlighting parts of us that are nasty and ugly. It illustrates what happens when the wrong people get in power and how people aren't always what they appear. Everyone in this game has hidden incentives, and many use and exploit others to get what they want, similar to our own reality. However, maybe you, the player, were the monster. When you finish the game, receive the bad ending, like I did. Dishonored, unlike most first-person action games I've played, punishes you for killing too many enemies. Unlike when I played Doom and I just mowed down a bunch of guys, because I mean, why does it matter? It's Doom. It's definitely a unique concept. The ending you receive is determined by how high your chaos level is, a little metric shown after finishing each mission, which I completely ignored in my first playthrough because I didn't actually know what it did. Chaos level is a mechanic that measures how much havoc you're causing and how many people you've killed during your missions, similar to something like a morality system. It modifies certain aspects of gameplay also, such as more guards patrolling, changes in dialogue with the Outsider, and notably, more character deaths. If you play through the game slaughtering every soldier you see, you'll receive the bad ending where Emily's kingdom is in constant turmoil. And if you mess up that last decision, your daughter could die. However, if you spare more people and choose to knock the guards out instead of killing them, you'll maintain a low chaos level, and you'll receive the good ending in which the kingdom is at peace. This coincides with the game's themes and characters, considering Corvo is not a psychopathic murderer. However, the system is a bit controversial because some players feel like it goes against the idea of player freedom. They feel it restricts them to a set playstyle to obtain the conclusion they desire. And me personally, I don't agree with that sentiment at all, because it just would not make sense to get some arbitrary happy ending yet you murdered all these people. It's like the saying, 2 wrongs don't make a right. The game directly punishes you for being evil, a component that should honestly be present in more games, and it's one factor that makes Dishonored that much more memorable. The story isn't just a basic revenge bad plot, the characters are actually quite good, with great character arcs, and they highlight many aspects of our human nature. I enjoyed this game a whole heck of a lot. Out of all the games I've played on my channel, Dishonored is one of the best and most fun I've played. Dishonored is a spectacular title from this era of gaming, and it introduced so many to a genre that harbors some of the greatest games of all time. It has influenced an abundance of games and features present today. But now I ask you this: do you remember Dishonored? Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more, there's a video right there. And subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to try to fix my upload schedule and I should be uploading another video in about a month. See ya, and God bless.